What does it take to become an MVP? Well, for some, they're counted on to do a little of everything.
Oh, and first pitch crushing! Oh, man! Lean into it!
And leaning into it is what some do great, while others are simply one of the greatest ever. Whether it's having filthy stuff or one of the sweetest swings ever.
That is out to deep left field. Hunter Press is going to watch this one go. That is hammered into left. That ball is absolutely murdered.
MVPs have been leaving their mark every season, decade after decade in each league. I'll be sharing with you a card from their special year and helping to commemorate and pay tribute to MLB's MVPs.
The 2-0 pitch. That's a pitch he likes. There's a long drive to left. That ball is gone, a home run.
In 1970, Boog Powell brought home the MVP. Here's his Topps card in which he was posing during the warm-ups. It's a sleek looking card yet simple. And in the back, it even looks nicer than other years, as you'll soon see. He earned the award with a .297 average, 35 home runs, and 115 RBIs that year. He gave Frank Robinson the protection he needed to get pitched to, while also leading the Orioles to their second championship within 5 years. Tony Oliva and Harman Killebrew took away votes from one another as they had to settle for second and third place in the MVP race. It could be argued though that Oliva deserved the award with a higher WAR of 7. No matter what though, it was an award long overdue after having a great year in his previous year of 69. Boog Powell was one of the more imposing sluggers during the 60s and one of the main cogs for that championship run for the Orioles.
Again, that quick one, that ball just jumping in there as it gets to home plate.
Two fastballs in a row, Kurt, and the first one to McCovey jumped into him, actually came in. Then he threw a fastball that started about the middle of the plate, and the ball sailed or slid away from McCovey, so his arm is live.
1 ball, 2 strikes to McCovey. He got him on a blazing fastball. Boy, did that one pop into Johnny Baker's neck.
Vida Blue has one of my favorite cards from the 1971 Topps set. Just look at that fun smile while he's showing you his grip. And it's also the only set in the 70s to give you a second helping of a pick on the back. Now 71 was Blue's second full season as a starter, and it turned out to be a career year for him. He posted a 24-8 record with 182 ERA and 301 strikeouts. He helped lead the A's to a championship series in 71, but unfortunately, they ran into the Orioles, who were looking for a back-to-back championship that year. Now, Sal Bando was runner-up to the MVP award, with Frank Robinson rounding out at third. Vida Blue's 9.0 WAR gave clear indication of how dominating of a year was for him. The 1971 MVP, Vida Blue.
Strongest man in the world to hear them talking. There goes back in center field. Tony Oliva watching it go for the home run. National League lead, 1-0. And that ball went between dead center field, which is 406, and the 393 sign.
Here's a card which gives you a sign of the time with their design. Mike at Bench Clear Media had Don and George on recently going over the sets from this decade, and it was a nice discussion. You should check it out. I, for one, always thought that Allen was shown here in a Phillies uni, which is why he's on his side, maybe trying to hide the logos, a la Panini style. But upon investigation, this is indeed a Chi Sox uni that looks eerily similar to the Phillies uni. Coincidence? I don't know. But as for Dick Allen, when joining the White Sox, he decided to play his heart out for the team, after feeling the love from the media when he was finally being referred to by his name of choice, which is Dick, not Richie, because that name used to make him feel like he was 10 years old. Now, Joe Rudy and Sparky Lau tried their best to win the MVP award in 72, but prodigious stats along with his 8.6 WAR gave reasoning to Dick winning the award that year. Dick Allen was indeed a beast of the era that was never going to be overlooked or underappreciated no more.
Without striking out a batter. Liner to center field, Reggie Jackson. Dives, has he got it? He has! There's a long drive. Jackson has hit it all, and it is
Reggie. Here's Reggie Jackson with an action shot of him trying to gun someone out, going for an extra base. The 73 top set was very famous for having great action shots in that cards. He has a little accordion action going on in the neck region also, making this, I guess, a double action shot, maybe? This is also Lou Rock TV's favorite card ever, even over any Clemente card. Just ask him. Reggie Jackson in 72 set out to win an MVP, but a lackluster stats and a couple with an early exit in the playoffs due to a hamstring injury left a sour taste in his mouth. In 73, he returned with a vengeance, more focused and energized, alluding to an epic year. He led the league in production, thus allowing him to run away with the MVP over Jim Palmer and Amos Otis. Palmer had to settle for the Cy Young that year, while Otis, well, he settled for a pat on the back, because in 73, there was no stopping Mr. October, who also helped the A's win a championship that year. Jeff Burrows, a player I didn't know too much about until I started this collection. He's pictured here by Topps, I guess watching the ump clean home plate. He was one of the Rangers draft picks that sort of panned out. He was drafted first overall while winning the MVP. That's rarefied air. He's only one of 7 players to ever achieve this feat. In 74, the A's Joe Rudy and Sal Bando took away votes from each other in a year where offensive stats didn't quite look so impressive. But it could be said that a jam thumb helped bring Burrows down to the pack because he was batting .332 prior to an incident which he managed to play through but took a month for him to recover. And that incident was none other than 10-cent beer night, a promotion that has to go down as the most idiotic promotion ever invented. Fans stormed the field that night all inebriated, and it was every man for himself. Many injuries were suffered that night, and fortunately for Burrows, he eventually recovered enough to bring home his much-deserved MVP award.
Yastrzemski's at second, Fisk at first, 2 down, bottom of the first inning. And there's a high fly ball deep to right field. Going back, Griffey, forget it. It's gone.
$1975. For Fred Lynn, that was his rookie year. Showcased here with his rookie card. And in this series, it'll be a rarity to have a player win such an award in his rookie year. Jim Rice, the other half of the Gold Dust twins, made a case to bring it home himself. He couldn't fend off Lynn though, who won Rookie of the Year and a Gold Glove in that same year. These 2 new studs helped take down the juggernaut that was the Oakland A's, who won the previous 3 years. Unfortunately, they came up against another dynasty in the Big Red Machine. Lynn helped them battle through 7 games in what was considered the greatest World Series. It seemed nothing could keep Lynn down, including the Green Monster. Take a look.
And a fly ball deep to center field. Lynn going way back, and he can't make the play. It's off the wall. Evans will recover, and Lynn is not up. He has been shaken up. 1 run comes in. Here comes Rose with the 2nd run, and Freddie Lynn is hurt in the corner in the dead center field. He must have hit his head against that wall, and he is really shaken up.
He amazingly shook it off. It was only a scratch, but the Red Sox learned to pad that monster in order to protect their 2 new studs.
They've stranded 4 men today. Munson hits it high and deep to left. Baker going way back, and it's gone, sir. Omron Munson.
Here's Munson with his 76 Topps card. It's a very simple design with the All-Star badge over in the left looking like a sheriff. And on the back, It's also plain but green with envy. But there's one thing I love so much about this card. Anyone that's a Yankees fan knows the organization doesn't allow facial hair. But with this card, it's able to show you what a grizzly bear looks like in a Yankees uni. I mean, check out this man's sweater. Looking like a 40-year-old virgin stunt double. Now in '76, Munson was named the captain, the first since Lou Gehrig. He went out there with those honors and led by example by helping to lead the Yankees all the way to the World Series, who unfortunately ran into the Big Red Machine. But while leading by example, he also was recognized as the MVP that year, over two very deserving candidates by the likes of George Brett and Mickey Rivers, who both actually had a higher WAR than Munson. But because of Munson's better run production, he ultimately brought home the award while proving to the Yankees that he was very deserving of having the honors of being called the captain.
Leading off is Carew of the Minnesota Twins. Carew remembers well Blues days with the Oakland A's. He especially remembers his rising fastball. With cool patience, he waits until the precise moment.
The pride of Panama, Carew. In the late 70s, Carew was switched over to first, and Topps was inclined to illustrate this with his '77 Topps card. Back-to-back years with green backs, as you can see, but this is still a sweet card of Carew to say the least. In '77, it was a career year for Carew, namely because Carew was known for being one of the best hitters the league ever had. And on this year, he would post the best average of his career of .388. The highest since Ted Williams did it in '57. He also tallied the most hits of his career with 239. It was a foregone conclusion of who would win the MVP in '77. Al Cohens and Ken Singleton had to settle for second and third with almost half the WAR. Carew did all he could to help the Twins win that year. Unfortunately, they could only finish fourth, and eventually it led to Carew moving over to the West Coast with the Angels. But at least for '77, he'll always be immortalized as the Twins' best hitter they ever had with a .388 average on his MVP year.
Rice is a killer on the road. 15 of his 22 home runs have been hit on the road. He has a mere .631 slugging percentage when he has a suitcase. And he probably hammers it to left. Reigns goes back. It's gone. Home run on the road for Jim Rice.
The other half of the Goldust Twins, Jim Wrights, here with his '78 Topps card, looking like he doesn't have a care in the world. And in the back, it's pretty plain and simple, colored in orange. After Lynn won the award in '75, it was now Rice's turn to bring home the hardware. And this after an already impressive '77 season, to which he was able to turn it up a notch. Ron Guidry was his only real competition in '78. He had to settle for the Cy Young Award though, with one of the all-time best winning percentages in baseball history. He even had a higher WAR than Rice did that year. But pound for pound, I'm assuming the nod went to an everyday player as opposed to someone who plays every fifth day. '78 was a memorable year for Rice and the Red Sox, even though it didn't quite end the way they had hoped for.
Torres, the set, the kick, and the pitch. Hit deep to left field. This one may be off the wall, maybe in the screen. Home run!
Hit well to left center field, way back, touch him all.
Don Baylor, here with a '79 Topps card, looking so damn photogenic with a smile like he knew what was about to come. It's the only graded card in this video. It's a beauty I found for really cheap. Only fitting for a career year for Baylor. He happened to lead the league in runs scored and RBIs while also totaling the most home runs of his career. His WAR, on the other hand, left little to be desired. Ken Singleton and George Brett both had years that were deserving if not better. Brett, in fact, with his 8.6 WAR, proved he was a superstar and future Hall of Famer in the making. In the end though, The voters sided with the best run producer in the league, who helped lead the Angels to first place in the West. Now that'll conclude this video. I hope you enjoyed the celebration of 70s AL MVPs. I even hope you shook your groove thing a little. Look for my next video on MVP winners. There's so many more decades and players to pay tribute to. Until the next one, happy hunting when it comes to cards. Stay safe and be blessed.